Hi, my name is Bryce. Welcome back to VHS Play, where we are playing Dark Souls and recording it all on VHS. Last time, we climbed out of the fiery depths of the Demon Ruins, through Blighttown, through the muck and the grime, finally back up into the open, fresh air, and the Firekeeper is absent. So yeah, that's where we left off. It's kind of an unfortunate place to leave off because I'm still at the point of if I do something really dumb and die, that's gonna throw us back down to. Oh, I hope I rested at the Blighttown bonfire, but it might be all the way back to the Demon Ruins. But anyway, hey, let's check in with the people around Firelink.
Did you ring the second bell? That is incredible, I must say. But now, we have a new problem. It's noisy, it snores, and its breath is lethal. This is no laughing matter, I tell you. Damn, that stench. And I was really beginning to like it here. Maybe it's time I do something about it. Me?
Alright, so this is like the official guidepost character handoff. Crestfallen Warrior here, he kind of gave us all of our tutorial information when we started the game. He got a little bit less handy as time went on. That kind of shifted more towards Andre, that's his name. It's been a week. So yeah, at this point we are getting like the actual handoff from one tutorial guide to another.
Oh, hello. Well, you certainly are keeping at it. Myself, I'm fine. Let's get started straight away. Two things are...
Alright, you have nothing new to say, Griggs. I could buy magic. I don't really want to buy magic, but I could buy magic. And yeah, like 2 of those bills would completely wipe us out. So, yeah. I really probably should look into some magic stuff just because of how things are going with the character build I'm going for. Yep. Let's talk to this jerk waffle.
Miracles, I presume?
Or not. We can't even talk to him. There's no talking to him. He's just a jerk. I don't believe you have anything to say.
Oh, pleased to see you safe, as always. The pyromancer's fled.
Yep. But you certainly have things to say, and we'll try to spend as little time here next to this character because he's awful.
Hello. Was it you who rang the bell of awakening? I am the primordial serpent, King Seeker Frant, close friend of the great Lord Gwyn, chosen undead, who has rung the bell of awakening. I wish to elucidate your fate. Do you seek such enlightenment? Very well. Then I am pleased to share. Chosen undead, your fate is to succeed the great Lord Gwyn, so that you may link the fire, cast away the dark, and undo the curse of the undead. To this end, you must visit Anor Londo and acquire the Lord Vessel.
Alright, real quick, we're just gonna turn that down. Because, yeah, his just constant mouth noises are just awful.
I am pleased to see you well. Is it something urgent?
Okay, so this is where we get to the fun part of, hey, it's Framped. He makes terrible, awful noises, but he becomes the new guidepost character who's just like, oh yeah, here's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to go up to Anor Londo and do all that stuff. Also, he is where we can quote-unquote sell items, so we can cash in some of this dumb stuff, like these coins. There's no purpose for them outside of maybe Snuggly would take them, but we're not talking Snuggly because, you know, reasons. Those reasons being, I didn't understand, like I never knew about Snuggly my first time through. But yeah, hey, cool. We can like get rid of all sorts of, good lord, I have a lot of trash. That's what happens when you pick up everything. But we're not going to deal with that right now. There's also the whole, like, hey, feed some larger sets of chunks to get small chunks. That's cool. But, yeah. Mostly, Frampt is here for information.
Those who seek the realm of lords must brave Sen's fortress, a deadly house of traps. Many have gone before you, but none have returned. Fate has chosen you, but proceed with caution. Those who seek the realm.
Alright, well, not a lot to say, but
Farewell, chosen undead. I remain here and await thee.
okay, there we go. We're away from Frampt, we can turn the sound back up. Don't have to listen to his awful mouth noises. Oh, they're the worst. They're just the worst. Boy. So yeah, there's a fun little shift there of Crestfallen says some things about, maybe it's time I do something about it. And like his last act as the Guidepost character is to point you towards Frampt, who becomes the new Guidepost character and potentially a liar, but you know, we'll not talk about that too much. So yeah, Frampt is just like, oh hey, here is exactly what you need to do. You need to go. Well, that happened faster than I was expecting it to. Oh boy, we have 2 pendants now. You know what? Let's go check in and see if Jerkwaffle has anything to say about this. Woof. I was really not expecting that to happen quite so quickly. So there goes any chance of getting cool spells from her. So heck. All right. Well, yeah. So we have a pretty clear.
Hello? Miracles, I presume? Yes, I know. Come again. The effective...
Hoo boy. That... He sucks. So yeah, I thought poor Rhea of Thurland would have a better chance at survival for a little bit longer, but apparently not. But hey, we know where we need to go. We need to go into Anor Londo, which we get there through Sen's House of Traps, and that's gonna be a time. It's gonna be a time, and hopefully it's going to be a fine time, and not a real bad one. Oh no, please don't do that. I'm still really concerned about the whole, like, you know, not... There we go. Everything's fine. We have a clear shot to a bonfire. So, yeah, I can stop worrying about the whole, like, if I die now, then, it's a long trek. Oh... Buddy. It's like I said, it's been a real long week. It's been a real long day. Oh, okay, and we can rest easy now. Finally, with Honor Londo, we also have our Black Eye Orb mentions Honor Londo somewhere in there, and my first time playing through the game, like that thing, I think I eventually put it on my hotbar because I kept like checking it and seeing if I could use it. And the answer was, you know, I couldn't for the most part.
That's an odd ember you have there. Ah,
what you're thinking, but I'm no good with those. It won't be easy, but I'm afraid you'll have to look for someone else.
Yeah, I think I've got like 2 embers that are not for Andre right now. So yeah, here's what we need to do while we're down here though. I have some broken chunk of sword. We need to get this up to +10, which is going to require, I think, 9 Titanite shards. So we're going to need 4 more of these. Exciting times watching this menu. Okay. Now, here's the thing I didn't consider very hard. Do I have enough chunks, or shards? I don't have enough shards right now, but that's not too bad. Straightforward +6, yes. So, mentioned the build, mentioned some things. We're going for that Artorias straight sword, and in order to get that, we need the Soul of Sif, which we have because, you know, luckily my first time playing through this game, I made some really dumb routing decisions and fought Sif really early on. So we've done that already. We have now a plus several broken straight sword, which we're going to need, like, we need at least 1 more, and then it's probably going to end up being 3, so I think we need, like, 4 more large Titanite shards to get that up to a +10, but good news is we can upgrade it to a +10 without Andre's help. The main thing we needed Andre for was for that modification, and this is... you know what, let's have a brief ramble on this thing. So, like, the whole weapon modification system, it's kind of a mess. Like, it makes enough sense, but at the same time, it's, like, it's convoluted, but it's not nearly as convoluted as, say, Demon Souls, where I have no idea. There's so many different options, and so many of them are, like, you have to do this special thing, and it takes so many stones, and it's, oh boy. I don't know enough about Demon Souls weapon upgrade system to really talk about it. I just know there's a lot of options, and most of which I've never explored. Dark Souls, I feel like it's a little bit obtuse still, where it's like you need to get things to +5 and then modify them up to +6 to get them to +10 to modify them up to +15, but also at +5 you can go magic or divine, and then at +5 magic you can go either to +6 magic or enchanted, which is super deep into magic depending on how your build is going. Then Divine has its 2 routes that split off of each other, where you can go into Deep Divine or you can go into Occult. And then Fire has more Fire and also Chaos, and it's a lot. There's just a lot of things. Bummer, we cannot level up. Just trying to get away from Andre for a bit, because the pounding of the hammer, it makes this is always a terrible place to stop. And I really do not want to go into the Sin's House of Fun with 10,000 souls, but I am going this direction, and that seems to be what's happening. But anyway, so yeah, Dark Souls, like, weapon upgrade system, it makes enough sense. It's still kind of obtuse, and I don't love it. I don't hate it. It's fine. Dark Souls, or Demon Souls, I haven't... Buddy. These dang snakes. Demon Souls, there's just so many things I don't know about Demon Souls. Like, every time I hear things about Demon Souls, it's like, wait, that was in Demon Souls? Oh, man, it's... I'm curious how the remake is remake, remaster, whatever it's going to be, how that's going to go. Are they going to add in that last area that, you know, got cut for reasons? Are they going to, like, make any changes to the whole world tendency, complete utter nonsense? Demon Souls is a neat game, mostly because it's still just so obscure that I don't know if anybody fully understands it. But yeah, in terms of weapon modification systems, like, Dark Souls 2 strikes, like, it gets much simpler to where it's basically just like you have your modifier, so your +1 to +10 or 15 or whatever is all in one path, and then you just kind of can take a stone and add it on the side, and that, like, it doesn't matter what your plus is compared to what your modifier is, but like they they both affect the stats of the weapon, but they do so independently. So already I've done 2 of these floor traps without really, you know, thinking about them. They are quite the surprise the first time through. Because, like, you can notice them. Like, they do stick up enough. Like, even now, when it's depressed, it's very slightly still poking up a bit. And when it's, you know, set to be triggered by you, that, you know, it sticks up even further. But, like, Sin's House of Fun is just where you go. Like, it's just full of so many surprises the first time through, and it really loses that in future playthroughs. Like, getting this far the first time took so long because there's, like, these snakes are tricky, there's boulders, there's the scythe blade traps, there's just so much in the way. Where are my rings right now? You know, let's take the extra protection over the poise right now. What is my poise? I really need to stop hitting the use item button when I want to hit start. It's 38. It's not great, but it's fine. Shield is another weapon that I've always kind of wanted to play with more, but hey, whoa, what? Snake, come on. Do not hit our onion friend. No, not allowed. Well, that's interesting. I wonder if it was like a future patch or something. Or if it just didn't trigger for whatever reason this time. But usually coming through here, these 2 snakemen are dead. Presumably killed by our good friend here. Basically letting you get in and talk to him without, you know, them attacking him and killing him and knocking him off this ledge. This very precarious ledge. I think my first time playing through, like, he ended up getting hit by the snakes and, like, to the point that he stood up. And that put him very precariously balanced. You know how, like, in 3D games where you can kind of, like, walk out over a ledge, and like, you know, you can see it here with 1 foot just kind of hovering over the pit. But, you know, whatever collision laws there are will keep me from falling because, you know, technically I'm on solid ground.
Oh ho! Ah, where did you come from? Splendid news, I tell you. Ah, so you see my plight. Yes, indeed. I've run up against a wall, or a ball, to be precise. I'm afraid I'm a bit too tough to be outrunning those things. So here I sit in quite a pickle, but who knows? Perhaps we'll have another development. Perhaps I could try some rolling. Bah, no chance. My head would spin.
Dude, he's just charming. Like, they really nailed just like this, you know, he's doing his best. Like, that's what it comes down to, is he's doing his best, and that's always endearing. Alright, so already this is going just tremendously, drastically way better than it would have my first time playing the game. Nope, not going to be able to outrun that. And so much of that is just like, you know, knowing what's going on. And then, like, you know, after the fact, for the most part, just like, oh, hey, these stairs, like, you can see they are crushed and they're rounded and there's all the you know, marks and everything. And, like, you know, everybody knows that stuff now. And, like, here you can, you know, there's that very clear shift in the light on this panel. Which, you know, that all, like, lets you see that there is a trap there. And, like, you pretty quickly pick up on things to look for, like these, you know, holes in the wall where an arrow is going to come through, these, you know, the floor panels that are going to activate that. And then, of course, you have this perfect timing, which is not so clear. But at the same time, like, all the, you know, the rolling balls and everything, like, it's, again, it's like after the fact, now that, you know, everybody else has played, you know, all of the design bits and baubles and ideas have come out, everything regarding those. There's no way to relive going through Sin's house of horrible traps and sneaker, you know, and these just rude surprises. There's no way to recapture that. Like, even in this nostalgia-focused playthrough, it's like, already things are just going so tremendously, drastically way better than they ever would have my first time through the game. Then you have things like this puzzle where you have the rolling balls are falling down into this hole. And you have this weird ladder here that is, for whatever reason, it's here. And it's just like, well, that doesn't make a whole lot of sense. The reason it's there is to prevent soft locks. Because if you did, like, say, fall down in this hole right now, you can get over here and get on the ladder to get out. But otherwise, you would just have to wait and die. So there's our item drop ring. There's our me drop damage. And then, of course, we have this. The first mimic in the game. And of course, your first time playing Dark Souls, you wouldn't even know that there are mimics in the game. If, like, again, if you're playing it blind, you're playing it offline, you haven't talked to anybody and nobody's, like, spoiled this for you. And you don't have all the orange soapstone messages saying, whoa, ho, ho, look out, it's a trap. You just have this weird, like, okay, there's a pile of statues, and there's this one random chest. And we're going to regret doing this so much. You have one chest just sitting here in the middle of the room, and so far every chest you come to has had, like, nice things in it. So it's just like, oh, hey, a treasure chest. What the? No. And really? Huh. I learned something today. So, yeah, like, you have... This mimic is here, and if it were my first time playing, I wouldn't know to sit there and jam on all of the, like, trigger buttons to get out of that grab faster and, you know, potentially survive. I didn't know that if you got out of that grab, the mimic wouldn't just stand up. It's why is it just sitting there? That's kind of silly of it. And of course, like, now that you know there are mimics, like, and again, this is the aspect of Dark Souls, like, so much of Sin's Fortress and all of the traps inside were just like the surprise, and you cannot relive that. Like, you know, I know to look for so many things with mimics now. Like, you can see the chest is breathing, you can see that it has a different lock on it, you can see that the chain is pointing. No, I guess you can't see the chain because it's stuck in the floor somewhere. You can kind of see a brief outline, but it's probably not going to come across in the footage. There it is. The chain is pointing towards you instead of away from you. And, you know, you don't need to bother hitting chests if you just remember chains away. It's okay. But, like, all of this stuff is just stuff that you would not know going into Dark Souls unless you, like, have been spoiled by people talking about it, or you've watched a Let's Play, or you've got these stupid orange soapstones that ruin surprises like this. Like, this is my case for suggesting that offline Dark Souls is the best way to enjoy Dark Souls. Oh man, these are such wacky creature designs. They're really strong still. They're really unsettling. And this is the point at which I was going to finally switch some weapons. But first, let's ride this elevator, which did kill me my first time through Dark Souls. Mostly, I hesitated in trying to get off here. It was just like, okay, I know, like, there was the blood I think I'd seen somewhere, like, this is clearly a trap, and then just hesitated in here. I think what it was, I had the camera pointing towards the wall in there, so I didn't realize, it's like, okay, it slowed down, what do I do? And then realized which way to get off first, or which way to get off, and I was too slow on that. Anyway, as much fun as this Black Knight Greatsword has been, we are going to switch out. Let's use that lightning spear. That is, you know, nowhere near as good, quite frankly, but hey, it is a thing. Like, the lightning spear has no parameter bonuses. It just flat out does 144 physical, 144 lightning, and that's... There's... What are the words I'm looking for? Did I put that shield in the box? I put that shield in the box. How's that roll? Okay, we're fine. Anyway, this has been a plan all along with this character, is to try out this this lightning spear once we got it, because it's a weapon I've never actually messed with much, just because it always came at a weird time in the playthrough for me. Like, I had upgraded weapons for pretty much every other character, so doing this, like having this lightning spear, was kind of the word for it is pointless, I guess. Like, I never needed to actually use it, and because it doesn't scale with anything, it ends up doing a lot less damage than a lot of the other options. But it is something that allows you to hide behind your shield and poke things, and it has good reach, and it's kind of like it's pretty useful for like the immediate area, as far as I'm aware. So at this point, we've opened up some shortcuts back here. Ah, this was a fun one. I did die to this trap my first time through because I was like trying to hit the switch and then roll back. Best way is just shield up, slowly step forward. Now, of note, there's the whole, like, dealing piercing damage while... Perfect. Perfect. This is a bad corner. I have made a mistake. There we go. Had to happen at some point. That's a really unfortunate place for it to happen, but there we go. Oh, buddy. So, yeah, welcome to the fun part of Sin's House of Traps and his Fortress of Fun, where we now have a good lot of souls on the line. Jeez, okay, fine. You know how people try to say Dark Souls is like always fair? There's a few things where it's jump attacks, man. Jump attacks are always nonsense in like every Souls game. When an enemy does one of those jump attacks where it's just like it's one part homing, one part just like covers an absolute immense distance. I can speak words. So dang it. So what I am facepalming over here for is what I really should do is go down and take care of these Titanite demons. Because there's several down there. And of importance, these Titanite demons will give me Demon Titanite, which is the stuff you use to upgrade weapons, like the sword we're going for. So it really would be in my interest to go fight them. That'll do. So yeah, fighting a pile of Titanite demons does not sound like a great way to spend this episode. Let's actually get some progress. Let's get through. Oh no. Everything's fine. Nothing is ruined. Let's keep going, eh? They do such a really great job framing that first boulder roll where they have the snake like show up trying to intimidate you and just be like, I'm gonna fight you, and then just a boulder takes him out. And I totally didn't have my camera facing in a particularly good direction for that, and I'm really kind of bummed about that. I see you back there. So yeah, like at this point, the whole thing about them giving you a weapon that is like, lightning weapons require a +10 weapon, so like enchanting them with lightning turns them in, like, they're of a certain level that is like the, you know what, you really should have this level of weapon if you're going this far into the game. And that is like one of the concessions that Dark Souls has, where they actually have a number of these sort of safeties. We've kind of seen it with the Astorage Straight Sword. We've seen it again with this Lightning Spear. There's just... there are these little safety nets that are meant to keep you from giving up, I guess? Or like, you know, getting just completely screwed over or stuck or whatever. And that's pretty cool. Like, honestly, the weapon that I have upgraded the most in this playthrough has been that crappy the crappy broken straight sword. Outside of that, I think I upgraded the Astorage Straight Sword once. I accidentally upgraded a longsword once, and that was purely out of like just bad menuing. This one still makes me nervous, and why am I trying to roll off? Let's not do that. How's about we don't? Humbug. Alright, let's go ahead and play things a little bit safer. Oh, jeez. Please, do not. I don't know if I even knew they had a grab. Alright, well, I learned something today, or at least relearned it. Oh, jeez. Okay, so... we've gotten like 4,000 souls trying to get back up here to our souls. Hooray, we did it. Let's get our souls. Stab a snake in the back. Two more Titanite shards. That'll get us closer to our +10 weapon that we need to switch over to the Artorias Greatsword. Good, 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 good. We only, you know, we only have 20,000 souls on us. We'll be fine. So this guy. This guy is a jerk. Let's shoot him. There we go. We win. And I definitely fell off of this my first time through. Like, the thin bridge, the camera pulls out these scythe blades. Like, I definitely panicked and just slipped up. And that's so easy to do. Now, of course, you know, what am I even doing? There's nothing over here. There's never anything over here, and I still check it every time. So, yeah, there's a bunch of stuff that I've not done in Sin's Fortress this run so far. And quite frankly, I might do that stuff off camera. We'll see. But first things first, let's go find that bonfire that I'm not sure if I found first time through. I might have eventually found this one. I don't remember. But boy howdy, was it terrible dying up here without knowing about this bonfire, or, you know, before I had found it. I don't remember which. Let's go ahead, throw some shards at the sword, so we know exactly how many we need. We are there. Great. Our broken straight sword is prepared for Artorias. And we can have a level. What do I want as a treat? Okay, you know what? Let's go ahead and get our vitality up to 20, just as a treat. As a nice treat just for me, who would like some more health. And also, I do like to have my numbers at, you know, nice round, like 5s and 10s. There's just something that, you know, makes my brain go wee about those sorts of numbers. Well, hey, more shards. Well, that's just embarrassing. So yeah, I'm trying to figure out what to do about, like, the rest of Sin's Fortress, because there's a lot that I've just kind of glossed over or skipped, like those Titanite demons. Boy howdy, sure would like to go back and fight them, but I don't want to do that on camera because mostly it just... Fighting Titanite demons feels really boring just because they take so much health. They have so much health and take so many hits and it just takes so long, and like one silly slip up and they can just destroy you, or if they do their jump attack and land on you, then you're just dead. Those sorts of fun things. That was not smart. Oh boy, you are... I deserve that. I'm not even trying to go that way. Like, there's just some items over there, and I don't really need any of them. There's also the... Ricart? I don't remember. The guy with the rapier. It's a fun little fight. Like, there's all these little things that just don't matter, I guess, in the critical path of Sin's Fortress. Let's just go get our souls. I mean, everything's a dead end, and there's like a giant I haven't fought. There's all the Titanite demons down below. There's this guy and Ricard, that's the one. So, fun thing is, you can parry these guys, but you can't riposte them. Really? I thought this guy always dropped a large Titanite shard. Oh, but there's so much that we need to do in Sin's Fortress still, and it's this rat's nest of a tower. Ricard, I've got some bad news for you. I've learned how to parry. And of course, the moment I kill him, I realize, oh wait, I could have turned, put on the Hornet Spring. Ricard's rapier is sure as a rapier. Yeah, it's nothing special as far as I know. I think it just uses regular Titanite to level up. It certainly doesn't have like any special attack power. What it does have is the just kind of fun strong attack that is like that's multiple hits. It's like it's kind of fun to play with, but like ultimately it's still a rapier, and they made rapiers just really not fun in Dark Souls. It's like they are easily deflected. They just don't do a whole lot of damage. Their main thing is they have like the secret riposte damage bonus, but there's just so much that's not repostable in Dark Souls that it I don't know, having the piddly little stabby weapons just doesn't compare to, you know, that Black Knight Greatsword that we were messing around with at the start of this, and like up until we got the spear. Like, yeah, the spear does okay damage and it's fine, but A, it doesn't do as much damage as the Black Knight Greatsword, and B, the Black Knight Greatsword has this tremendous knockback and just poise damage, and oh boy, that accounts for just so much. Come on, my dude, put down the sword. Alright. And there's the other like hidden mechanic of when if you are attacking, and like this is kind of like why they have the whole like for these weapons that are dedicated to piercing damage, your spears and your rapiers, why you're able to attack while you have your shield up is so that when let's go get the key. When stuff happens, like if you hit somebody while they are attacking with a piercing weapon, you can deal extra damage. It's like some secret critical damage thing that it's not really explained, and there's oh, I don't remember which ring it is, but like one of the rings is it boosts that damage value. But essentially, like the way that is supposed to be used is you're supposed to like hide behind your shield, and then when somebody starts attacking, like you can kind of see it there. I did like 100 in my first hit and 76. There's 76 again. So it's like, it seems the intended way to play with a piercing weapon is to keep your shield up and then try to go for like the secret critical damage thing, which the timing, I don't know it at all. I don't know if it's even worth it. Like, compared, you know, there was like an extra 30 points of damage, which that was, you know, that's like 40% extra damage, I guess, from 76 to like 105 or whatever, which that's a significant number. But you have to keep your shield up, and that's just like, this is just a really boring way to play, if you ask me. I don't know. Like, they definitely put all the fun into like the big heavy weapons, and then like all of the, I feel like all the light weapons get like these satisfying tricks, but they're really hard to pull off, and oftentimes they just don't work at all.
Ah, what? What? Who are you? Ah, another undead, eh? I took on Sen's fortress alone, but I'm no different from those vile creatures. I was driven by conceit. Ah, you think you're different? That you can handle it? Yes, I remember that feeling. For I was the same. So, let me help you out. With your soul searching.
So, this guy actually has some, like, really good stuff. For one, you can buy large Titanite and green Titanite shards. He has, like, the big, fun, heavy weapons. He's got, like, the beefy shields. The tower shield is like, this is a really quite good shield. Some arrows. He has the Katarina set, which is, you know, who doesn't want to be Onion Bro after spending some time with him? He's so nice. And then you've got like these cool rings of protection against specifically spells, you know, magic and lightning. But it's all really expensive.
There's nothing more to say. I'm finished. We're both on the brink, you see. End of story. You bloody fool. Let me give you a nibble of advice. Don't even consider visiting Anor Londo. Not in your state. For a century they've tried and failed. The Night King Rendell, Black-Iron Tarkus, and even Logan himself. You won't stand a chance. You'll be eaten alive. But go along if you wish. If only to deepen your despair. Let me give you a nibble. Don't even consider.
So, yeah, this.
Nothing at all. Fine then. Rush in like a naked babe and be skinned alive.
This guy is just like Crestfallen Knight version 2. But he's also a shopkeeper who has nice things, but they're really, really expensive things. Oh no, we fell. In case it wasn't clear, that was, you know, intentional. Because we're going to grab our sniper crossbow. We're going to drop on this dork. I said drop on this dork. We're going to backstab this dork, I guess. So, yeah, I'm seeing like, it looks like I'm getting like an extra 20 points of damage if I get the critical hit thing right. But this is real hard on the stamina. And like standing there with your shield up and then just like getting wailed on, it's just like, it's not a good time. I don't know, it's really not my jam. I don't know. It feels like an idea that just, in the end, it just doesn't quite work. Like, I do appreciate the whole, like, hiding behind a shield and being able to use a spear. Like, that's honestly kind of neat. But, hang on. Okay, just nothing. What it comes down to is just, it's just kind of weird and like this oddly suboptimal way to play the game. Like, I have done that run, though, of the spear wielder who hides behind a shield. And it was a pretty good run. Before anything else happens. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no. Okay. Everything's fine. So, yeah, like, the whole... keep a shield and a spear and, you know, be able to hide behind it. It can be kind of a fun run, but like the like specifics of trying to get the critical damage, like it just doesn't work. Like it doesn't feel reliable enough. And I do wonder if that is just from me not having, you know, studied that timing. Like, you know, parrying never seemed like a good idea until you got good at it. Speaking of things that don't seem like a good idea, going up here with one Estus. There we go. So those are a giant problem. These things are just really satisfying to roll through. And they look kind of like the eggs from Alien a little bit, just more round. Like they've got the goopy tops. Anyway, Alien. Real good time. This episode's going to be really weird. Like, I don't know. I can feel that I'm just like super tired and just speaking for the most part nonsense. I have one Estus. I should not fight the boss. I should really not fight the boss. I should... I don't know. What should I do? Like, there's so much... Hey, you can see him from here. Look at that. It might come through in the footage. Okay. I've convinced myself to at least go get myself, you know, some Estus. Can't level... So we're still going in with an awful lot of souls. 5 Estus should be fine. And no, we're not going to do the classic summon Tarkus and, you know, place bets on who's going to win the fight between the Iron Golem and Tarkus because, again, this is a nostalgia-focused playthrough. So my first time through, no, we did not. We did not find Tarkus. Yes, I know you're behind me. I don't care. Until you sneak up and stab me in the back. Then I care. I don't know. Sin's Fortress is so weird. Like, so much of what made it exciting was all of the surprises. And you can't have those back. Like, once you know what's up, you know what's up. You know where the enemies are. You know where the traps are. You know, like, how to avoid all the traps and all that jazz. And Once again, you just can't get this experience back. So, good old Iron Golem here with his really cheap, enormous, lingering hitbox for his grab attack. He's one of those fun bosses that has like the super, the easy kill sort of thing, like interesting puzzle boss stuff. Didn't quite get him to fall off here. But we did get him to fall down. We can deal a ton of damage. There we go, and I'm probably going to get thrown off. Oh dang, I'm still alive. And still just not quite far enough over for him to take the fall off of the ledge. It's one of those things, it's like, I've seen it, I might have been able to do it once, but it is just like, you need him up against the ledge so close. There we go. Iron Golem. Of course, it goes way, way better than my first time through. Like, I think my first time through, what had happened is I went through the fog gate and got to about here, and he just did like the air slash with his axe and blasted me, and I think it sent me flying off the ledge. That air slash is a good way to counter mages, so it turned it into a pretty fun fight. Alright, you know what? I don't know, I'm on the fence of what I'm going to do about, like, the rest of Honor Orlando here, of, am I going to, like, I need to go release Logan, and I need to fight all the Titanite demons, and all of that stuff. But that's a problem for future me. Right now, let's enjoy the view. What a reveal. Oh, what a great reveal. And if you want to, you can, talk to him and go back down, and then I guess you could do that too. Anyway, this view always is just wow, and that little bit of Ornstein Smo's music when you come up and see this great view and the gleaming city of the gods and all this, the grandness of everything. And, like, this feels so very much like the top of the world until you look left and realize, oh, wait. But you know, at this point, we've been to such awful depths, and now we are, like, on top of the world. Ignore that. And hot dang. And also, we're in Orlando, where the killer of our firekeeper is, and boy howdy, we want that sweet, sweet revenge. Anyway, let's call it here. Thank you for watching. I really do appreciate it, especially in episodes like this that feel extremely weird to me because I'm tired and I feel like it's hard to make Sin's Fortress interesting without any of the surprise. But you know what? We did it. We got up here. I still have a pile of Sin's Fortress nonsense to clear, and I'm probably going to take care of that off camera just because it's not fun to watch me fight 3 Titanite demons in a row, I think. But anyway, thank you very much for watching. I've been Bryce. This has been VHS Play. Have yourself a lovely evening.